Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Fetty Knox, and today I'm coming to you with a little bit of a tutorial. Really, this is not going to be a tutorial on how to sell beats online, but it's really going to talk about how I sold beats online, and I'm hoping that it provides something that you guys can take from and kind of maybe include into your own journey with selling beats online if that's something that you're really looking to do. The way that this works out for me is by telling you guys a few things that I feel like you should put into practice. And one of the biggest things is really just dealing with rejection, honestly, and really understanding the word no. Not only how to receive the word no, but how to give it. Because that's going to be something that's really important for you guys to be able to stand on your value and what you believe you're worth when it comes to selling beats online. You know what I mean? Essentially, you spend a lot of time that is unseen where you're working on your craft, you're creating beat after beat, you're doing research online, trying to figure out what's the next sound, what are people driving towards, what do they like in terms of beat production, and you're trying to recreate sound but also implement it to where it's your own style and it kind of sells a bit about who you are as a producer, and you're just feeling like you're casting your line out there and you're just not getting any bites, and that gets to be frustrating. I mean, if I'm being honest, even myself included, I spent a lot of time where I felt like, man, nothing's working, and you just get to a point where you want to throw in the towel. So I'm here to talk to you about how I ended up selling beats. It really changed for me when I participated in joining on a platform called Airbit. Some of you may already know there's numerous sites that you can sell beats on, more than I can really even think to name to you. I mean, but the top ones that come to mind instantaneously for me would be like Airbit, BeatStars, and I think even United Masters now allows you to sell beats online. But for me, I started on Airbit, and it was a low cost subscription in the beginning. I think times have changed now. What I did was I told myself, man, I'm just going to pay for the year. I paid it all up front for the year, and I told myself if I can make at least what I paid to subscribe for that year back, I'd be cool, just breaking even. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't really selling beats like that anyway. I just wanted to see how it would go. But going back to when I talked about understanding and embracing the word no, that was a really big piece for me. Because I know in the past, when it came to selling beats to artists, I always tried to feel like I was working more towards just doing whatever it took to get them to commit to purchasing the beat. And one of the biggest things that I think that I needed to stop doing was asking people what their budget was instead of just stating what my price was and sticking to that. Okay? Process that for a little bit. Stop asking people what their budget is and what they can afford, and just tell people what your price is and stand on that. Okay? Because you really have to believe in what you're, selling or what you're trying to get people to buy, and it just really shouldn't fluctuate. I mean, what your price is what your price is, and there's going to be some people that just turn and walk away, but that's okay. You really got to just hold tight and stand on your price, bottom line. And the ones who want to do business and the ones that actually see the value in your production are going to come and purchase those beats, I promise you. And I'm going to show you some real stuff that are real results that I achieved through my time with selling beats online. Another thing is something that helped propel me personally were ads. Taking advantage of digital ads. I did, I think, my first one through. I hit up someone who could make me like a little digital commercial, right? I sent them some of my instrumentals and had them pair it to the video to create a commercial for me. It's probably about 30 seconds to a minute. That person was my boy Eric Sattler. So if you ever are interested in him, you can Google Eric Sattler, or you could type up Envision. He has a website and he can create ads for you. But I paid him to do an ad for me, and then I ran a promotion, which, if I'm being realistic, I mean, I didn't have a lot of money. It was probably like 50 to $100. It wasn't nothing crazy to just run an ad over the span of a week on my website that I had set up through Airbit, and I was offering like a promotion on leasing. You know what I mean? Something I can't even remember what it was, honestly. It was something crazy. It was probably like you could get like 5 beats for, or 5 or 10 beats for like $50, but they were all leasing. So, you know, that ad ended up taking off, and people were just buying and buying and buying and buying and buying. And I felt really good about it because, I mean, if you've ever been in that situation when you're just seeing passively like the PayPal notifications dinging off on your smartwatch or whatever, or just your email notifications coming in with sale after sale, man, you start thinking like, this is crazy. And pretty fast, like I ended up reaching my goal of course, breaking even for what I paid to subscribe in the first place. So now everything from there was just profit. And I was excited to see that for myself. Now, once you start achieving success, you kind of want to keep whatever audience you have engaged. And I'm saying this, I'm gonna tell you right this, you have an audience even if you don't know it. You know, the people that you're connected with on social media, your friends, your family, they kind of lurk, right? And they see what you're doing, even if they're not always engaging with what you're posting and what you're doing, they see it. So people are attracted to good news, just like they're attracted to bad news. You know what I mean? They're attracted to good news. So if you have little accolades that you achieve, screenshot it, take pictures of it, post it, and then turn it into content, right? And that's what I was doing. So pretty much I started climbing up, and I was getting like on the notable newcomers list that Airbit would have, and it would show my logo and everything. And I was like, okay, you know, that's cool. I could post this. I would post this to my social media, let people know that, hey, I'm starting to gain some traction. I'm making some progress. Then eventually, through my sales just getting more frequent, I ended up on the top producers list. And this top producers list was holding some really big names, people who had achieved some really good accomplishments for themselves in the beat selling space. You know, people like Tone Jones, and you know what I mean, like just numerous of ones. But that right there allowed people closer to me and locally to see like, okay, you know, I've heard of this guy, you know, on a local level, but he's now selling beats and it seems like it's doing really well for him. And people want to be associated with success, right? So even if they've never actually taken advantage of interacting with you or doing business with you before, them seeing that success kind of steers them into your direction, because it kind of pokes at their curiosity, right? It's important that you turn your achievements and your accolades into content, right? Because it's attractive to people. And that'll also help drive, you know, you being able to sell more beats in the future, because it also ties into people feeling like, okay, this is somebody who's doing business legitly. Obviously, people are spending their money with them, and if they see somebody else spending their money with you, it makes them feel more comfortable about them spending their money with you. You know, you get what I'm saying. Through Airbit, I got to take advantage of some really cool opportunities where they added me as an Airbit playlist curator. I mean, you could probably still go to their website and see that today. If you could look up Fetty Knox, and you'll see that, you know, I got to generate a few playlists for them. And those opportunities helped kind of, you know what I'm saying, work towards building my personal brand and identity a little more, getting people more familiar with who I was and how good my ear was. And I also like that opportunity because I feel like kind of help other producers too, by including their beats in that playlist and just letting them feel recognized. Like, you know, somebody there was paying attention and picking up what they were putting down. And I'm hoping that it led to, you know, them getting sales too, just kind of organizing those beats in a concentrated place where if people were looking for a certain sound, then they knew where to find it. And I wasn't one of the only playlist curators. There were others as well. So be sure to check out their playlist too, if they're still up on air. But I know they're probably scattered around on SoundCloud and stuff like that too, because they were doing numerous things. That time for me for selling beats just as Fetty Knox kind of passed. And then I transitioned into really trying to start a production team where I picked up some of my good close friends who were also pretty talented when it came to music production and audio engineering, and we created a conglomerate and a team called Raw with the Dog. If you've been watching this video up to this point and you've been wondering what this is behind me, this is the new website. This is rawwiththedog.com, and this is where my team posts their beats online. You can see some of the visual content from videos that we shot, the studio that we now have, We have our own brick and mortar location now where we have local artists that can come in and record with us. They'll book sessions, they'll do content. If you're in Austin, this is definitely a mainstay studio where I would recommend that you check out. It's called the Stash Spot. You can book your time with us, and even if you're not here and you just want to get some vocals mixed or something like that, we have that available as well. All you got to do is come down and book a session with us. We do mixing and mastering for vocals. Also, if you're just coming through the city, maybe you already have your team put together and you're just needing a space to rent out, you can book with us like that too, with no engineer. Run the session yourself. We'll clear the room and make sure everything's clean and set for you aesthetically so that you can go in there and get to work. Not everybody has their own space, but they do need a quality space to rent out and to use. So that's for that as well. But also, we have our beats here as well. So me and the other producers on the team are loading this site up with beats. So if anybody remembers old humble Fetty Knox in the beat selling days, and you're wondering how come he hasn't been posting any beats to the Fetty Knox website no more, where did he go? This is where I'm at. Ta-da! I'm right here with Raw with the Daw and my team, and all of my beats and everything are now going up here on this website where you can still purchase beats exclusively or by lease, whatever it is that you choose. So I won't go too much in on this website. I'll let you guys kind of take time to explore that if you care to. But really, I just wanted this to kind of be a bit of a video where I talked about, like I said, how I ended up selling beats online in the beginning and how it worked for me. And it's really important that you guys understand that this is how I sold beats, right? So everybody's going to have to kind of tailor their own journey a little bit to work for them. This nonetheless was a bit of a success story for me that I wanted to share with you guys, because I know for a long time I scratched my own head trying to figure out, how can I get this to work? The main core things are, the biggest thing that I want you guys to really take from it is the power of no. Because there were a lot of people who, regardless of what I achieved, wanted to talk me down on my price or whatever, or they felt like I was charging too much. I'm talking about, I'm selling beats for anywhere from $300 to $500 exclusively, one beat. Selling bulks of beats, at a time for, thousands of dollars, and cutting deals maybe on if they're buying more than one beat or more than 10 beats at a time, you know what I mean? I stood on my price, and that's what I want you to start doing. If you're a new producer trying to get into selling beats, is stand on your price. Have confidence in it. And you're going to hear no. You're going to see people come in and walk out. It's just part of the game. You got to kind of build that confidence in what you believe. And another thing is, I always wanted to be so good that, I felt like if somebody heard a beat and the price turned them away, then it just obviously wasn't good enough. You know what I mean? So just keep working on your craft and continue to develop your sound. Get to a point where what you have is undeniable, because at the end of the day, that artist has to take that beat, right? And he still has to make something with it, because a great beat can still just only end up being just a great beat. It is very much a collaborative effort for an artist to turn that beat into a hit song or a hit sound, but a great beat is a great starting point. Okay, so just continue to work on your craft and make dope stuff. Continue to invest in yourself. You have to invest in yourself. I know there's a lot of producers out there who are ripping turns and plugins, and they're doing everything like that. That type of stuff comes with limitations and restrictions. And I'm telling you right now, it's better to just go ahead and put your money where your mouth is when it comes to you and yourself, and you will see yourself benefit from putting your dollar behind yourself. Like I said, when I paid for my first digital ad and got a commercial created, I had no idea that it was actually going to turn out to be successful. It was just me moving on the strength of my prayer and my hopes that it would turn out successful. Just have faith in yourself, guys, and remember that consistency takes no L's. You know what I mean? As long as you don't quit, you will see success. But if you quit, you might not ever see success, and that's when you really become a true failure. You know what I mean? Because you're sitting in that state of that one time that you failed, or those 2 or 3 times that you failed. This is about failing and failing and failing again and failing again, but you will see success, and I promise you that. So I really hope that this video was helpful to you guys, and comment below if you have any more questions. If you want me to maybe dive into something a little more deeper, when it comes to selling beats online, you can reach out to me and I'll give you any tangible information that you might need that will help you. That's all that I have for you guys today, man. I appreciate you tapping in with your boy Fetty Knox, the Fox, man. And, check out the Raw with the Dog website. And if you're a producer or an artist and you need some help, or you're in the ATX area of Austin, Texas, and you need a studio, come check us out, man. You can see me in person. All right, man. Have a good one.